Hey, welcome Leapers. Welcome to the Leapcast. We are back for episode 2 of Quantum Leap's Leapcast. Basically the weekly show where we recap everything and anything that's going on in the world of Quantum Leap. So joining me as always, we got the man, the myth, the awesome, the super awesome geek show himself, John from 1998.
Today, yeah. I've leapt in just for the show.
And we got everyone shuffling into the chat here. We got Rolando Flores, of course. Rolando, the man, the myth, the mod of the Leapcast.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
There you go. We got Duffman's Diorama, saying hello to Rolando. Of course, we got Super Awesome Geek Show. He's in two places at once. Hey, hey.
Well, no, he's the one of the future. I'm the one in 1998, right?
Whoa. Lost my headphones for a second. We got Darth Muzza in the house.
Muzza.
The Muzzinator. Let's see who else. We got Lack Sivrak. Lack Attack is in the house. Remember,
attack.
You always want to like and subscribe.
Duffman's Diorama's got some great stuff going on over there.
Yep.
I love looking at his.
And actually, before we begin the show, I actually want to talk about Duffman for a moment. Now, Duffman's a big supporter of all of our channels, and he's a content creator in his own right. He makes some amazing dioramas, but for all the work that he does for us, I want to do something back for him. Now, those that don't know, Duffman recently lost his brother, and he actually has a GoFundMe right now to help offset some of those bills. He's in some dire straits, and he really could use all of our help, guys. So please, now this is his GoFundMe page. His twin had passed away, and he's launched this page to help offset a lot of bills. And guys, if you can spare 5, 10, 20, whatever you have, even if you don't have the bucks to spare, if you can share this page to any of your social medias, I'm going to have the link in the description below. I'm going to actually put that into the chat right now. So guys, if you can do that, please, let's help Duffman. Yeah, he's always there for us. So let's help him out. Okay, guys? And I am going to be reposting that throughout the stream as well. So guys, please, I mean, it doesn't take a lot. It just takes a little to make a world of difference. So please consider helping out our boy Duffman. Okay? Now, also, I want to mention that let's keep everyone who's in Florida, especially our boy, Super Awesome Geek Show, John right here. He's down in Florida. Everyone in Florida is getting ready. They're battening down the hatches. They're doing everything they can to prepare for Hurricane Ian that is coming their way. So please, take a few moments to keep them in your prayers and thoughts. And, maybe, there's going to be I'm sure there's going to be a lot of hurricane relief hitting up. So if you're in different parts of the country, maybe you see some cases of water on sale at BJ's or Sam's Club or whatever. Think of some non-perishables that maybe you can set aside and maybe even ship out to some family and friends who you might have down in Florida. I believe it hit Cuba today, and it's supposed to be hitting landfall, what is it, Wednesday or Thursday morning?
Somewhere in there, yeah. I'm not. It's so hard to predict, but yeah, they're saying somewhere between Wednesday and Thursday it'll hit. Yeah. And right now, I mean, they thought it would go further north. Right now, it's probably going to hit into Tampa or just south of Tampa, into Bradenton and everything. Yeah. And I've got family in Bradenton. I've got uncles and cousins and lots of people over there. So so we're hoping they're going to be okay. And then, I mean, if it hits landfall and comes pretty much straight across, that hits us.
Yeah.
That hits us. We're going to get hit by the outer bands no matter what. It's already thunderstorming and flooding out there. I mean, the parking lot was just a nightmare out there already. And I can hear the thunder. Maybe, I don't know if you guys can pick it up yet, but as the night goes on, I'm sure it's going to get louder and more heavy. Mm-hmm. And then, but if it doesn't go straight across, if it does sort of curve up, it could hit Orlando, which means our friend Vinny on Twitter is going to get hit. If it goes further north, lack could be in the path. So we gotta hope everyone stays safe. Lack in the path, yeah. So we just gotta hope everyone stays safe, stay inside. I mean, there's no reason to go to work. I was talking with Vinny earlier today, and his job wants him to come in tomorrow at like 7 a.m. And I'm like,
I believe it.
Dude,
they want to get as much work as they possibly can out of people. And by the way, Rolando says, since you're in 1998, can you pick up some Power in the Force too?
Of course, yeah. I'll send it right over, Rolando. What ones you looking for?
But yeah, so let's get.
So we got to just keep everyone down here in our thoughts and hope everyone stays safe.
And of course, there was an infamous episode from the original Quantum Leap where Sam leaped into as a local sheriff. I think it was. When there was people at hurricane parties. Is that still a thing? Do people still try and have a good time during these kinds of crazy disasters?
I don't know. I mean, we just stock food and water. I don't know about having
Lack
a good
says
time.
Fresh water, food, and ammo.
Yeah.
Maybe if it's Texas. I think the ammo is more for Texas, but yeah, let's get right into Quantum Leap. Quantum Leap Episode 2, Atlantis. No, we're not talking about the city of Atlantis. We're talking about the space shuttle Atlantis.
Yeah.
So now the episode starts off with Ben. Obviously, he leaps into an astronaut in the actual space shuttle Atlantis. But I want to actually show you guys. This is one of the first scenes we see in the present. This is Ian and Addison, because apparently Ian walks in and sees that the apartment is a complete disaster, and this is by Addison's own doing, trying to uncover some secrets as to, because of course the previous episode ends with Addison getting a video message on. She finds Ben's phone, and there's a video message basically telling her that him right before his leap, saying that she might uncover some secrets, she might uncover some truths that she might not sit well with her, which I think kind of foreshadows some of what we find out throughout this episode. What do you think, John?
Yeah, it's well, I mean, like, I was a little surprised. Well, I guess we don't know what's really on the thing yet, but I was a little surprised they didn't stretch this out a couple episodes. So I'm glad that they're like kicking it into gear a little bit.
Yeah.
With the now,
I guess you could call it
the now story rather than the past. Yeah. But I thought it was funny, like, whenever I go searching for something, no matter how crazy or nook and cranny it's stored, I don't really destroy all my furniture and break stuff. So I thought it was kind of funny that she like completely obliterated some of her furniture. Like what is he gonna do? Drill into the leg and hide it? You don't need to snap everything in half.
I mean, obviously that kind of shows you that obviously she's someone of military background.
Yeah, she just went nuts.
She's looking like, okay, where could it be hid? He was your fiance. I think you would know where he might hide things, and just how conspiracy-esque that he might be. Darth Muzz says he can't stay for long, getting ready for work. No worries, man. Glad you could stop by.
Yeah.
But I kind of like the little attempts at humor that they did with Ian thinking that, like, she's like, we're into this together, and she's referring to her and Ben and not her and Ian. And I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's it's kind of like, okay, and also this is the division of two camps right here, because she's asking, because when she finds that little thumb drive, she's entrusting Ian not to tell anyone else at the project, really.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the division of two camps. So we are seeing heads, but now I've seen a few Quantum Leap Facebook groups. A bunch of people don't like having two storylines. I'm loving it. I actually wish we had more of that in the original series to see more of what could be going on at the project, because we really didn't get Al and Gushy discussing things, we never really had that.
No, yeah.
And I mean, Lex is kicking into gear is great. Andor could learn that. Yeah, I'll admit the Andor Star Wars series, at times some of the pacing was a little off, but I'm enjoying that series as well.
Yeah,
Of
me
course,
too.
big thanks to John. He's donated to Duff Man. I mean, every little cent is going to help him out. Take care. His name is Rodney Ansel. Is that the actor who plays Ian? Let's catch up a little bit here. Rolando says, I saw some Quantum Leap episodes and never finished the series. I know about, I think he meant Ziggy, but nothing else. I just watched him leap and see the episode was about. Yep. Well, that's one of the good things about this is it's not really relying on the mythos, if you will. It doesn't rely on the mythology of the original Quantum Leap. I mean, they're borrowing very loose parts. Like we hear references to Ziggy, we don't hear a voice. We didn't hear a voice in the first one, and there is some hate going on right now that there's no reference to the waiting room. And literally 30 minutes before we started this stream, I even commented in one of the Facebook groups and said, "Listen, take a chill pill, enjoy the ride. Everything's going to be revealed in due time, whether they're using a waiting room or not." That was a reference to the original series. Whether they're doing that or not, and the same poster was complaining that we don't get flashy futuristic clothes like we saw with Al. But then again, it's kind of like Back to the Future.
Yeah.
When we saw Back to the Future 2 that came out in 1989, we saw hoverboards and flying cars. We're gonna have that in 2015. It never happened.
Yeah.
So just relax, and I mean, unless you are funding a TV show, you're not going to have any say in the matter. So just kind of relax and let's enjoy the stories that are coming our way. You know,
we do have electric cars. Al pulled up in an electric car in the original.
Yeah, but that wasn't just an electric car. That was
I know it was
Ferrari. That was kind of
like
it was like a next generation.
It had
like it was
neon lights around it too, or something, right?
And he also had the turbo boost sound effect from Knight Rider. Remember that?
Yeah.
But Quantum Leap's definitely picking up.
It's on the Peacock one.
It's now Quantum Leap airs Monday nights at 10 p.m., but I believe at 5 a.m. Central Time is when it kicks on Peacock the next day. So it is available Tuesday mornings when you wake up. You can go straight to the Peacock or to NBC, the NBC app, and view it either way.
Yeah.
But here we got Ben leaping into the space shuttle right before it takes off. I mean, come on, who wouldn't want to do that? Plus, the first time we get a leaper basically leaping into a vehicle and going out into space. I mean, we've seen Sam leap onto a motorcycle, an airplane, a car, so many different situations. I don't think we ever had anything quite so. I mean, this is kind of like, it could go either way.
Well, the Mach 3 jet was pretty harrowing.
Yes. That was he was in the pilot episode when he flew that.
Was that the pilot? Really? That was it? Okay.
Yeah. Where he leaped into Captain Tom Stratton. Yeah. Which is kind of funny because one of the co-commanders of the ship, her name is Stratton, which makes me wonder, hey, could that be?
Oh, a good catch. I didn't catch that. A good catch.
But we get Ben, and of course Ben's he's freaking out a little bit, but then we find out that actually one of his idols was the person that he leaped into.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool in itself. Speaking of coolness, we get Brody in the house. We got Oakhurst Studios, Vern. By the way, not to get too off subject, but Vern released a very awesome video earlier this afternoon, talking about again touching base with Hasbro and the Engine of Vengeance, the Ghost Rider HasLab. Yeah. So if anyone is a collector and you have an interest, definitely check it out. Vern brings up a lot of good points. Oakhurst Studios, don't miss out. Check out his channel. He's had a lot of great commentaries on the collecting world in general, and especially with Hasbro lately. So please check that out, guys. We got Vagon in the house. Everyone's saying hello to each other. And, of course, Ben, I couldn't grab the one image. Ben hiding out in the space bathroom. He's like, he's like standing around. The one girl says like, "What's wrong?" And he's like, "Where's the space bathroom?" I don't think that's really what they called it, but it was kind of cracking me up.
Yeah.
But of course, like a leaper, when you're waiting for your holographic observer to show up, where do you go? You go to the bathroom. So, I mean, we get a nice little exchange. He's getting some memories, and she's going against the grain. Back at the project, Magic and Jen did not want Ben's memories being stirred up.
Yeah, just in case he was.
But Addison is kind of taking the position that Al did a bunch of times.
That's right.
In the first few episodes, Al kind of snuck in messages. Like one time, he's wearing like these long robes, and it has some hieroglyphics. Yeah. Which Sam could read. So Al was breaking the rules against the committee. And we kind of have the same thing with Addison here, that she wants to know what's going on in Ben's mind, Mm-hmm. So I mean, I'm liking that.
Well, one thing that I thought was one thing I was wondering about is I was under the impression that especially when you're on a spacewalk like this, when you're outside the ship, I thought your comms were on 24/7.
Like open comms, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm guessing
they did that just for the narrative, but it could have been kind of funny.
Yeah, because I was like, funny. If he starts talking to her, I think it'd be like, who the hell are you talking to?
Well, see, also another thing that later on in the episode, he's actually in the cargo section of the space shuttle. And he's talking to her, and she's just standing there, obviously as a holographic image. But there's questions. How can he hear her if he's in a suit? Can he hear sound? How much do those suits really filter as far as sound?
Isn't it really in his head?
Well, yeah.
Actually,
that's another thought that the main sounds the neurons, because she's tuned to him and he's tuned to her. However, I mean, it's who knows. We haven't got a whole lot of the science about it. They gone says spaghetti dinner was good. Remember, Troopers Diners does not make itself. Dinners. Remember, Troopers Dinners do not make itself. Okay.
Yeah.
I was misreading it. Everyone hit the like button for Quantum Dave. Hey, I kind of like that Quantum Dave. Hey. But yeah, here we go. Of course, we get Beth Calavici, the widow of Admiral Al Calavici, and I believe this is the very same actress from the original. Which, aside from the voiceover narrative from the first episode of Ziggy, this is the only other actor from the original series to appear on the show so far.
Yeah.
So I'm liking that. And, of all things, of course, Al's wife is going to be working on a muscle car in the yard. I thought that was awesome. We get Magic approaching her because we know that it's obviously at this point in time, Magic and the project, they know that it was one of Al's daughters, Janice, who was uploading the code. And we're going to get more into that a little bit later. But it was kind of cool to see, one, Beth is, she's obviously in good spirits. And Magic comes to say, I need you to try and get me in contact with your daughter. There's some stuff going on, some trouble. I want to do everything I can to help. But, she blows it off, says, oh, I haven't seen her in a year since Al's funeral. And, of course, Magic and Jen, who's the head of security, they find out that, yes, Beth called the daughter right away. Obviously, the mother's going to protect the daughter, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And we get some more secrets later on. I think it's in his head, and the hologram visual is for benefit in ours. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think she can actually make sound because she's not physically there either. It's like just a holographic projection that he sees.
Yeah, because it was through the mesons and neurons. And, but there was some examples where that rule was kind of busted.
Was it?
Because Al was projected to Sam's brainwaves. However, children and animals and those who, or maybe special medical conditions, could see Al.
That's right. They could.
So,
Yeah, I
but
remember
that
that.
also has to do with the projection of that signal through brainwaves. So if you're in an alpha state, which were animals and children, you could see Al and you could hear and talk to him. So it's still a projection. So if someone had similar brainwave projection, similar to Ben, they should be able to pick up Addison as well.
Tune into it. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Can we get Sam cameo? Yeah, they gone. Everyone's been asking for that.
Yeah.
We talked about that last week as well. Scott Bakula has not officially signed on to anything, but who knows? I would love to see something at the end of the season.
I think that's coming. We can get into it later when you go over a certain thing that we see later in the episode. But I do believe it's coming. I think if
Rolando, thank you for throwing Vern's HasLab video from earlier today in there. Thank you very much.
Scott was saying that he didn't sign on initially. Yeah. Like I believe that, but I think there's going to be, if more talks haven't happened after those tweets of him talking about passing, I think they're going to get him on board as the show unfolds. Because I think they're planning for something. We'll get into it, I think, in a little bit. But I think they're planning for something.
Since we have Beth on the screen, Vern is referencing when Al danced with his wife. Yeah, he danced with her, but they weren't physically touching, so it's kind of like Ghost. You know? And, of course, Georgia on My Mind, classic by Ray Charles. Every time I hear that song, of course, I think of Quantum Leap. I really do. So this is not like Star Trek and talking to the whales. For one, it was Spock who spoke to the whales, George and Gracie.
Yeah, that's right. He's with George.
After George Burns and his wife. So here we are outside of Janice's house. We get both Magic and Jen. They're kind of discussing things. Jen's like, you should take it easy on Addison because they're being very adversarial right now. They're not really trusting each other. This is a team. They're a family. Let's be honest. And right now they're kind of butting heads with each other. And they find Janice has a little hidden door that leads to a secret basement, secret lab. I mean, take a look at this. One.
Yeah.
I know she didn't bring all the gear down there herself. And like, is there a service where you can get like an underground laboratory built?
Well,
I mean, look at all this.
Did you hear did you hear what she said in the episode though? She said that Ben did it.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna get to that in just a second. Here's Janice. Let me see. No, I don't have that image in here. I'm sorry. There is an image where Magic is looking at a picture or looking at a clear board with writing, and he recognizes that it's Ben's handwriting.
Yeah.
All these equations are made by Ben, and at one point, Al actually talks with Janice over the phone. And by the way, if you actually watch the entire episode, this is actually at Ben and Addison's apartment.
Yeah.
So obviously, Janice went there looking for something. Maybe that key fob, that USB,
drive. Yep.
That drive itself, or maybe for something. There might be something else we don't even know. So that's going to be very exciting. But she basically tells Magic, "No, I'm not the one that brought Ben into this. Ben brought me into this. We don't know how true that is.
Yeah.
But if it is, that opens up a bigger ball of crazy as to what may be going on." Let's catch up here. The Burns and Allen Show is one of the greatest comedies. Gracie Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Let's catch up. That I want a T1 server in my basement. Yeah, definitely. But we see that going on, and there's some craziness that happens on the shuttle. There's a damaged module because Atlantis was carrying the first module that would be the first piece of the International Space Station. It gets damaged, and he's using an array here to try and send I think, what did they call it? An alpha ray? or something.
It's got to be an
exact S-ray. I think they refer to it as an S-ray signal to Mir, because that is when we had the Russian space station Mir. Before we had the International Space Station, they have plenty of oxygen. So they're trying to send a signal because all their telecommunications got knocked out. Their long-range communications were completely knocked out. So they're hoping they can basically make a phone call to Mir. But here's the problem. Mir, the Russian station, is on a different time schedule. So they're asleep right now. And there's a line earlier in the episode that Addison says, Ben, you don't control leaps, which is a reference to, because he keeps asking, well, can I leap now? Can I leap now? She says, you don't control leaps. And that, to me, was echoing in my head. Because remember, that's the one thing Sam always was frustrated about, that God, fate, time, or whoever the hell is out there was leaping him through time. And I think this is her mentioning that line a couple times, I think, is foreshadowing something we're going to see later on about controlling leaps. That's my little conspiracy theory about this.
Gotcha.
So after this fails and they realize, wait a minute, there's no way that they can actually speak to them, what does Ben do? He's looking up. And that's right, guys. He makes a leap, a literal leap he disconnects his carabiner, his mounting gear from the shuttle. Addison's like, what are you doing? He says, I'm controlling the leap. He actually says that. He says, I'm controlling the leap. And that's what he does, guys. He literally, this is Mir, and he literally jumps out. Because you got to figure, gravity in space is very, very much reduced. Okay, so he literally does a really good push and kick, and he starts flying through space on a trajectory right for the space station Mir, which I thought was I think was the biggest thing I think we've ever seen in any Quantum Leap episode ever.
Oh, yeah, it was crazy.
I mean, we've seen Sam jump out of trains, cars, all kinds of stuff. But I mean, to actually, jump out of a space shuttle into space without any kind of tether, no rockets, no kind of assists of any kind, just kind of fling himself and hoping that he's on a straight line, and he literally just makes it.
Yeah.
He literally just makes it. He knocks on the door. He secures the air for the shuttle, and basically he saves the shuttle Atlantis, which is pretty awesome in itself.
Yeah.
Now,
it's theoretically possible to do that kind of a jump.
Oh yeah.
But it seems like it would be extremely dangerous, because if you do miss the target, you fly off into space forever.
Things like this have been attempted in movies, obviously, like Mission to Mars.
Yeah.
A version of this, I think, was achieved in Space Cowboys. And there's a few other movies out there that we've seen attempts similar to this. Now, the drive that we mentioned earlier, that little key fob, that, along with a small little hard drive that they were able to steal from Janice's apartments or home before it self-destructed, because she had it rigged up.
Yeah.
Her father was military, so I'm sure he taught her a few tricks about rigging booby traps. So here they are back at the project. She says, I found this drive. I found this thumb drive in my apartment. This might be what you need. They put the two devices together. They find a ton of equations. And this is kind of the culmination right here. We see all these equations coming, and then this screen is completely replaced. And then we see all these intersecting lines hitting each other. And they're surmising that these are millions and millions of points in time.
Yeah,
and after
they map it out in like a 3D form.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it culminates with a dot that keeps blinking.
Yeah.
Basically, all these equations sum up to a destination point. So if Ben was the one that got Janice to help him, where in time does Ben want to go?
Yeah.
Where in time is Ben willing to risk his life, his future with Addison, and everything that he's worked his entire life? Why, what point in time is he trying to reach? Is it something to do with his family? Because we find out earlier in this episode, he immigrated from Korea. So at what motivation does he have, or what point in time is he trying to get to, which is very interesting.
Well, I almost wonder if that's why I think like the Scott Bakula's coming in, where Sam comes in, because I actually almost wonder if like what if he discovered a way through the calculations to pinpoint an exact spot in time and space, and then he went to Al's daughter to say, "Hey, look, I know your father was always trying to get Sam back. I found this way in these equations to get to this to target the leap or whatever." So then, but the people I currently work with, they won't go for it.
Yeah.
So I need you to help me finish these equations, and then that's why she was like, according to all the calculations, the window to get to that exact point in time and space is closing. You got to go now, and that's why he leapt. You know what I mean?
Which makes me wonder if some of those other points are points that he has to leap through to get to that point, or that point, since it was kind of a center point on that map, is it something that's a nexus? Or
who knows?
Some kind of quantum waypoints where maybe,
or what if it's the bar?
Well, that's one idea I had. What if it was Al's bar?
But
what if, as a leaper, if you can get to that central nexus point, let's just say it's a nexus point, basically an intersecting point from every angle possible. What if he gets there, and from that point you could go anywhere you want in time? Kind of like you just mentioned Al's bar from the very last episode, because that's a point where Sam uncovered more truths in one episode than he did through the entire series.
Yeah.
He realized that people who died become leapers, and they can make right what once went wrong. He also realized that all these people that he recognized have faces of other people that he's known. And he also came to the realization that he could control his leaps.
Yeah.
Okay. Which brings me back to my other point, that Ben says, "I'm controlling the leap." When he says that, she says, "What are you doing?" "I'm controlling the leap." It's almost like maybe he has some thoughts in his head. We don't know what information he knows about his, Ben before leaping, what he exactly knows about Sam, and maybe what Janice might have told him. Because who knows? Maybe her father told her that, after those 5 years, Sam came to the realization that he really could control his leaps on a subconscious level.
There's also no reason to think that. I mean, even in the show, Al only died like a year or so ago, so there's no reason to think that Ben and Al didn't talk. You know what I mean? Like a couple years back. You know what I mean? So, or 5 years ago they had talked. You know what I mean?
I mean, for all we know, Al might have handpicked him.
Yeah, like Magic was mentioning. Sorry, I haven't seen you since the funeral. It could have been that all these people were at Al's funeral. You know what I mean? There's
a lot we don't know. This is my conspiracy theory. I still believe that Magic was picked by Al.
Yeah, me too.
I still have the hope that Al was rescued by Magic, because in the original timeline, Magic and Tom's platoon were wiped out until Sam leaped into Magic, and he changed the history.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sam's brother, was alive, and who knows, that platoon could have later been the platoon to repatriate Al. We don't know.
I think what changed in that one was instead of the platoon dying, it was the girl, the photographer girl died
The
instead,
reporter,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But that
But
platoon could
she did
potentially go on.
She did see Al.
Yeah, well,
being taken.
she took the photograph where she
Yeah,
got a
of
poster
Al.
for.
That's right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what I'm getting at is maybe, it could have been months later or even a couple of years later that Tom's platoon in Magic might have been the platoon to save Al, to
rescue
free
Al.
him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And obviously years later, that Al wouldn't know. But the older Al would, and maybe that Al reached out to Magic and found that he was alive. And, they befriended each other. And maybe that's how, like, he entrusted Magic with the project. I mean, that's one theory. Another theory is, maybe Al handpicked Ben. That he saw so much of Sam in Ben, for all we know. Or, crazy concept, who's to say that, Sam didn't father Ben? Just saying.
Yeah,
In
you
the
never
past,
know. Yeah.
I mean, if Ben has such a great IQ and a great mind, especially for grasping quantum physics, we don't know. There's a lot that could be happening. So speaking of happening, let's catch up on a full thing, some chat here. I remember in the 90s, 91-ish, the folks did not know what would happen to nukes. Yeah, that was a scary concept back then. I could definitely see some storylines with that. USSR became just Russia. This was after Germany. Yeah, because I think it was it 80, 89 or 88? The fall of the Berlin Wall when West and East Germany just went back to being Germany.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because I think it was it the mid-90s, I think it was, when, the USSR fell. Francis says, I'm sorry I'm late. I had to watch before I came by. Yeah, we just did a quick recap of some of the episodes. Some of the episode here. I mean, I rewatched it right before, and I mean, we had a lot of awesome action in this episode. And I like how Magic is casually joking about leaping. Like he says to Jen's like, wow, that's like the nicest thing you ever said. Like he makes a joke like, are you sure Ben didn't leap into you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And she's like, wow, that's the nicest thing you've ever said. So I mean, we get some playful banter, but it's kind of weird hearing people talk about leaping outside of the project too. I mean, let's face it, this new series is new ground for us as Leap fans, but I don't have any scenes for the next week's episode, but he leaps into a boxer.
That's right, yeah.
In the 70s. So obviously he's already leaping out of his own lifetime already. And that's going to be the big twist is, I am just talking history that I've forgotten the date for. No worries. Excuse me. But we're already going to see him leap into someone else. And I love that in the trailer they kind of show him, or the end scene, they show him getting hit in the face by another boxer. This is wishful thinking, and I doubt it's going to be him. But what if it was Kid Cody?
I know that would be funny, but I don't think so.
Yeah, like an older Kid Cody. I think that would be kind of like a nice little nod. But it's kind of weird. Some of the people that Ben is leaping into. Sam didn't leap into an astronaut, but he did leap into an astro chimp. Okay. Sam has leaped into people who were kind of like bad guys or stick-up men.
Yeah.
So we kind of have some similar occurrences here. He's not leaping into the same people that Sam leaped into, but similar lives or similar situations. So that begs the question, is maybe Ben, is the leaps that he's taking, are these pre-programmed?
Well, that's the thing. I was also wondering that with the target on that in that map, because I was like, what if Ben did leap to the target he wanted to leap to in the first episode, but since his memory's gone, he doesn't remember why he wants to be there, and then they fix. So she being the hologram and like working out what might what might need to be corrected, what once went wrong now has to be set right. He sets that correctly and leaps, but then somewhere down the road when he gets all his memories back, he might go like, oh crap, did you know the reason I wanted to leap there was because so and so was probably Sam.
Well,
I missed that opportunity, and none of us knew that one of the other guys was actually Sam.
Well, for all we know, when Ben immigrated, that maybe the reason why we don't know the details of his immigration. We just know that he immigrated to America. But for all that we know, maybe his family was killed.
Yeah,
and maybe it was Sam Beckett who saved him.
Yeah.
And if Ben knew a certain point in time where Sam was going to be, and if he could somehow leap and target that exact moment, could it somehow knock Sam back to the project? But of course, this is a different project for all we know, because as far as we know, a lot of this is taking place around California. So that suggests that the project was moved out of Stalin's Gate, New Mexico, into somewhere around the Los Angeles area.
Yeah, they wouldn't have just left that old lab sitting, like, still working, right?
I mean, for all we know, they might. It was probably dismantled, I would like to think.
Yeah.
Because you got to figure, okay, that was 1999 was the last leap that we saw on the show was in 1999. Technically, 1993 our time, but in the show, the fictional point of time was 1999.
Yeah.
Because they had uranium rings around the accelerator chamber and the imaging chamber, which has like half-life of I think 5,000 years or something like that. So I mean, there was stuff that obviously, with technology, it's what else half waiting to see if in Janice's lab there was one of Al's old handlings. I was waiting for like some little Easter egg like that, but it didn't pay off, not yet, anyways. But I mean, I'm liking where things are going. I'm liking having these kinds of like parallel stories. But it's begging the question that if Ben really was the person who recruited Janice, like, is it that Ben wants to get Sam, or is there other motivation? Is there a conspiracy? Is there something that he is being greedy about that he wants to change in his life? If his family died in Korea, which might have caused him to immigrate, we don't know. But if that's what happened, is he trying to change that history? And we all know from a ton of movies and TV shows that sometimes when you change the one thing you want to change, you can create a worse future.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Back to the Future 2, Marty wants to get the almanac so him and Doc can be rich. But in doing so, the almanac gets tossed out. Old Biff gets the almanac. He travels back to 55, gives it to his younger self, and makes his younger self into a corrupted mobster like Donald Trump-esque greedy person, and everything goes to hell. If Ben goes back and changes things, what if that prevents him from growing up and becoming a scientist and even doing the project, and then you have a paradox? It could be any number of things. And maybe that, if something like that happens, maybe that's when Sam appears to put things right.
Yeah, I guess they could do that. Yeah, but
there's 1,000 different scenarios out there, guys. But all we know for sure is one, nobody knew that Ben was planning to leap, except for Janice.
Yeah.
We know now that Ben supposedly, at least as far as Janice is telling people, that he came to her, that he has these designs and he needed her help. So it begs the question, why did Ben do this? Okay.
And also, why would she be willing to destroy it all? Like, yeah. That's the other thing. Like, why? Because she booby trapped the whole thing. So it's like, what is so different and so important on there that that the people working on the project can't know about. You know what I mean?
Well,
like that, so that they'd be willing to booby trap it and destroy it rather than have them get their hands on it. So it's
exactly.
it's a really strange.
Now,
because like most scenarios you think of, you could be like, all right, after the fact, after I jump, we can get the team on board.
Yeah.
For the, like, if it was searching for Sam, or if it was like I wanted to change something in my past.
Not to borrow from another Don Bellisario series, but NCIS, it's always better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Yeah, but what I mean is that like in this scenario, he didn't even want to ask for forgiveness because he'd rather have it completely destroyed than have the team know what's going on.
Yeah.
So what could be so dangerous or so important that magic and his own wife can't know about? You know what I mean? Like that's the weird thing. He'd rather destroy it than have his wife find out what he's doing.
Here's the thing. One, it depends on what it is. And two, if this knowledge could be very dangerous. And maybe he wants that knowledge, that information destroyed so that there's no way anyone can stop him, for one. Two, as far as, if this information got into the wrong hands, such as the evil Project Quantum Leap, or from the original series, there was a project led by a supercomputer named Lothos. Well, for all we know, there could be another contingent of a Leap project somewhere, a quantum project somewhere else. And maybe they want to keep this information secret, or maybe he got some of that information from that other project. We don't know. We don't know any of the story yet.
It could be, I guess, the one scenario where you would destroy the information is if you got some of this because you knew about the evil organization, the evil Leapers, and you weren't afraid that your wife and Magic would find it. You were afraid that the evil Leaper Society would find it.
For all we know, it could have been like Back to the Future 1. The Libyans give Doc the plutonium, but then he turns around and uses it for his own purposes. It could be a similar situation. He might have been approached by that other project, but maybe he got whatever information he wanted and then turned around, said no. There's like I said, there's 1,000 different theories out there. Now, Francis is asking, how would he target the string of destinations of leaping? Well, in the first series, at one point, Sam figured out how he could hit the target, how he could hit the bullseye. He did that once when he simul-leaped and sent Al back to the imaging chamber, and then he went back to 45. So that was one instance of Sam hitting the target. And also, they later used that same information when they took Bingo, and they got Bingo to leap into himself. So, there are a few instances where a target can be reached, but also, there's a lot of information we don't know about. But those coordinates, all those equations could have been saying, okay, if I need to get to this central nexus point, this specific spot in the time continuum, but how am I going to get there? Quantum leaping is not a straight line. Now, John probably knows this. The string theory, Sam's actual theory for quantum leap. Your life is a string. Beginning is birth, the end is death. Now, what if you could accelerate so fast that you surpass the end of your lifetime and find yourself back at the beginning, turning your life into a loop? Now, what if you ball up that loop so that each day of your life touches each other out of sequence, allowing you to make quantum leaps within your own lifetime? So that image I saw on the screen, that to me is basically the entire timeline. The past, present, future, everything. But you can't just go in a straight direction. You're going to have to make all these little hops to get to a destination point. Anyone who's heavy into space sci-fi, like with slipstreams, you're kind of making little jumps to get where you need to go, or even the 90s show Sliders.
Mm-hmm.
You had to jump from different wormholes, and you were hoping to finally get back to Earth Prime. And they did get back to Earth Prime a couple times. It just took a lot of slides before they can get there. Same thing with Quantum Leap, I think, is that Ben has to go through, he has to try and find the right projections. And like you pointed out, the window of opportunity was closing. Speaking of closing, we got the Nathan Bowden show here.
What's up, Nathan?
Mr. Space Pants himself. I think he has quantum pants on today. Actually, I have a physics degree, quite well versed in quantum theory. Awesome.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah. Caitlin's here too. Do you see that up there? Kathleen.
Welcome, Caitlin.
Yeah. Is it Kathleen or Caitlin? I don't know.
It looks like Kathleen or Kathleen, maybe. Let me know if we're saying your name correctly or not. I'm always down for being corrected. But yeah, I mean, it's to see that image, to see all those different points. I mean, it's like, okay, whoa, like how is like what? And here's my question: is it possible? Is it out of the realm of theory that maybe Janice has her own little version of Ziggy?
No, it's not. I mean, they could.
Because Ziggy could hypothetically be anti-Ziggy to Janice, if you think about it. And
but he wouldn't have been in that room though, because they wouldn't want to destroy.
Well, Ziggy, I mean, if you think about it, Ziggy has crashed a lot during the first episode, as far as we know. Who's to say that those were actual real crashes and not Ziggy kind of creating distractions? So she can help Janice, and maybe she's helping Ben, and we don't know about it.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to think those calculations alone look pretty massive. So could two brainiac scientists create that, or would they also need the help of maybe one of the world's greatest AIs?
It looks AI. Yeah.
And I mean, if anything, and remember, we didn't really have the internet in the original Quantum Leap. There was no talk of the internet, even though it was in 1989. But who's to say that Ziggy doesn't have an online presence that nobody knows of?
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? It may be because of Ziggy's online presence, Ziggy's AI is somehow copied, and that's where Lothos comes from. Kind of like Age of Ultron versus Jarvis kind of deal. We don't know.
And you also have to know, like, what kind of AI is Ziggy? Is Ziggy a general AI, or is Ziggy a, like a specific, like for a specific task? Like, is Ziggy an AI that only deals with Quantum Leap? So everything the AI learns is related to Quantum Leap, or is Ziggy a general AI where it can learn about anything, like learn about the internet, learn about copying itself, learn about, you know what I mean, like, and go outside of its parameters in a sense? Because I mean, that's a big discussion going on right now in real life. A lot of people are afraid that if McDonald's makes an AI that's good at flipping burgers, that one day it's going to go out there and stop all cars and crash everything and make us all wipe everyone out.
Well, I don't know if you're aware of this. There's actually AI that is making scripts for TV shows.
But what I mean is
SG-1 and Stargate Atlantis have had some AI created scripts.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is a general AI can learn about anything, and we haven't created that yet. All the AIs we've created have been for a specific task. And an AI designed for a specific task can never learn outside of that specific task. It's like a weird, people misinterpret what AI is all the time. They think that if you make a script writing AI or you make a burger flipping AI, that eventually that AI is going to become self-aware and take over the planet like Skynet.
No,
it cannot do that. It absolutely, there's no physical way for it to go outside of its parameters of script writing or flipping burgers or whatever,
So I want to briefly say hello to, welcome to Maria, Tea Time and Tea and Telly.
Hey, Maria.
Maria's a great friend of the channel, and I just dropped her link in the chat below, so guys, please check her out. Francis says that's an interesting theory. Client-server connection to connect to Ziggy.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, think of war games. Server being the internet, you never know. Forget Al Gore. It was Ziggy that created the internet. Nothing. But yeah, we're talking the new Quantum Leap. I mean, I'm loving where the show is going. And yes, Ben keeps saying, oh, and they, kind of end it before he says anything. Is he saying, oh, saying, oh boy, I think it's just like, oh, and that's like his, saying right now,
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they've taken us into space already in the second episode. I think this Quantum Leap is going to be on a grander scale.
Yeah.
Than the first one. I mean, in one of the trailers, now they keep hinting at the Old West.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think they are going to the Old West.
Yeah, I think so too. That's what it.
Because I saw a clip where he's actually on a horse, like he's riding out into the desert. It looked like.
Mm-hmm.
My fear was like, oh, are they going to do like they did with Sam? Is it just going to be like an old Wild West attraction that he leaped into? But I think they are really going to go there. Yeah. So I mean, it's definitely a grander scale, guys. It is a tremendously grander scale. I'm loving everything about this. I mean, just to recap and bring this back up, we get Ian and Addison trying to work together. Oh, we got Colbane Games. Colbane's in the house. KBG.
Hey, how you doing? What's up?
The Gun Daimyo himself. I mean, they really went all out with the space shuttle interiors here. We get Beth from the original series, of course. And I mean, we're seeing the dynamics, and we can see how some of the team is kind of paired up. Like, obviously, Ian is, the confidant for Addison. They're great friends. We see Jen and Magic. Obviously, they both kind of have that military security background. So they're on kind of like the same wavelength, And
well, I liked how at the end too they like Magic and Addison, is that her name? They kind of reconciled their
Addison
and said like we're all gonna have to work together to fix this, and they do all come together, and she turns over the drive.
Just looking at all these equations coming together, I mean, that's just And I like that, we don't just have like 4 people working at the project. We have background workers and technicians. But what I'm still waiting for is I'm waiting to find out where the actual location is. And obviously this is Big Brother up here watching everybody.
Yeah.
Or is that Ziggy?
It could be Ziggy, yeah.
Let's catch up. Everyone's saying hello to Colbane. Brody says, hey, boy, Cornholio. Hey, Duffman, been lurking while watching Grimm with Nim. Are you talking Grimm, the TV show, or are we talking like cartoons, like the Grimm Adventures of Billy and Mandy? Hey, that's a favorite of mine.
I think they're watching the show. Hello, Mario.
I watched the first part of the first season of Grimm, and then I just kind of wavered off. One of these days, I do want to completely rewatch it. Ben's leaps to flashy 1970s Las Vegas in the body of promising young boxer Danny Hill on the eve of a big title fight. Ben and Addison must help Danny win the fight or lose everything. Yeah, he's talking about the next episode. Yep. It looks really cool. Also, we find out that I guess the coach is kind of in some dire straits, which is very similar. Well, it's not really similar. There's a loose variation of that because, like Kid Cody, his coach was trying to kind of keep him on a straight and narrow, and Cody was the one who was kind of in with some colorful characters. So there's still going to be shades of that, I think, everywhere we go. We're going to see Ben leaping into a woman very soon. Because he gets proposed right in the beginning.
Yeah, they that was one of those things when the first time they did that with Sam.
Duffman says, I'm working on Dave's Dimensions diorama while watching Dave's Dimension. Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of Inception, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brody says, I'm Cornholio. I think you need TP, not YP.
Yeah.
I think YP is what you do with the TP. Remember, with a health dinner, you can have some ice cream too, as long as it's mom's idea. Yeah. KBG says, "Hey Brody, how you doing? How you doing, Colbane?" And Colbane dropped another video today. I think he did one of his snacks, one of his tasty treat snack videos today. So you guys definitely want to check out Colbane Games channel as well. And also, I want to bring this up again. Those that don't know, our brother Duffman, he's been going through a bit of a situation. He recently lost his twin. Medical bills and just everything is piling up, and he launched a GoFundMe campaign to help out. So guys, please, if you can donate a few bucks, whether it's $5 or 5 minutes to share this link, to share this post everywhere, please consider doing so. He's a big I mean, he helps out so many different channels, sharing links, sharing streams. I mean, he's always a big supporter of all of our channels. So please do me a favor. I'm dropping that link into the chat again. Please consider giving anything you possibly can, whether it's $5 or $10, or even if you don't have money, if you can at least share that on all your social media, Instagram, Twitter, Discord, Facebook, whatever you have, smoke signals, whatever you got, guys. Let's try and help him out, and let's try and make a difference. He's up to 135. The goal is actually $1,000. Let's see if we can help get him there. It would really mean a lot to all of us if we can help him out in his time of need, guys. So please consider helping out. It doesn't take much. Okay? Let's catch back up. We got Francis says, I'll share it around. I'm homeless, so that's the best I can do. Hey, anything you can do. And I hope your situation improves very soon. But I mean, you know, there's a lot of chaos and insanity going on. And honestly, I personally thought that, you know, what better stream to try and help make something right, which has gone wrong.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, I mean, Quantum Leap, the big goal of Quantum Leap wasn't someone time traveling. It wasn't, you know, seeing someone jump into other people's skin, so to speak. It was about one person wanting to change things for the better, to make right what once were wrong. The only thing Sam ever wanted was to fix things that went wrong with his family and with people in general. And all he ever wanted greed-wise was just to go home. You know? This world would be a better place if we had more Duff men, you know?
Yeah.
And a few more, you know, super awesome geek shows.
Yeah, and GoFundMe is a really good place to do this kind of thing. My brother and I are forever grateful for everyone who helped out with his GoFundMe, and
well, I mean,
we were overwhelmed. We were overwhelmed by the community coming together, you know, and so it was really so yeah, I mean, anything like that's why we were happy to help Duff Man here, because anything to pay it forward, you know, right?
Yeah. And Duff Man, I mean, yeah, I know it's hard to ask, but I mean, the worst thing someone can say is no. So, I mean, this community is always going to have your back. I mean, this community is always about helping each other. John did a fundraiser for his brother. I did one for the, you know, for Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Institute.
Yeah.
I mean, when there's something going on, you know, that's when this group comes together. I mean, Tasman Taylor, Darth Taz, as he's known as now, he did a fundraiser last year for I'm blanking on it. I can't believe I'm blanking on it right now. But he did a fundraiser last year, which I believe was for St. Jude's. St. Jude's to help kids out. I mean, That's what this community is all about. Francis says, I thought you were going to say one man can make a difference. Wasn't that a Knight Rider trope? Yes, one man can make a difference, Michael. Yes, that was Knight Rider. But that's what it was. I mean, that's a lot of us, when we're younger, that's what we loved. You know, one person can make a difference. It doesn't have to be an army. You know, it could be one man, or it could be two men in a helicopter for all we know, or a group of four guys with a crazy nutter in a Chevy van or GMC van with machine guns that never seem to hit or kill people for some reason. Oh, Wolfpack is dropping through.
Watching from work.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good to see you. Sorry you're at work.
Everyone's saying hello to the Wolfpack. Wolfpack dropped a video today as well.
Where are you at, Francis? I'm near Fort Lauderdale. So we're
He says I'm gonna jet, need to get ready for the hurricane coming through here in South Florida. Please be safe, Francis. And by the way, if you ever need anything, just hit us up here. Any of us we're always available. I mean, Super Awesome Geek Show, you can always reach him through his channel, and Super John is also on Twitter as well. I'm on Instagram and Twitter. You can always hit me up on Instagram at Daves_Dimension. He says Lake Worth.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's what it's about. It's about trying to help each other when we can. Quantum Leap, you know. Now, John, I want to ask your thoughts. Is Ben a good guy or is he a bad guy?
I mean, right now I think he's a good guy. I don't see how she would have fallen in love with him and went to basically, in a sense, married him, and they were going to get married.
Yeah.
If he wasn't, but yeah, I mean, right now I think he's a good guy. Plus his leaps have been used for good, as far as we can tell, saving people's lives and you know, not only just like actually saving them from death, but also saving the first guy from a life of crime. And
now,
you know,
I'm going to throw a counterpoint at you, okay?
But what my feeling is that the like the Al character in Al's Bar, whether you call it time, fate, God, an alien, whatever it is, like it seems like he's on the side of good. And if you're a good person at heart, when you leap, you're going to be correcting situations for the better, meaning a good actions throughout the leaps. No. If you're an evil person, you're going to be working for the evil organization. You know what I mean? In setting things wrong through history. No, so I think because Ben's doing good, it means he's a good guy at heart.
Now, I'm going to throw a few things at you right now, okay? The evil leaper, Aaliyah, when she first met Sam, okay, she was trying to be, you know, kind of wreck the happy home, right? With Frank. Well, remember, she was also giving books to Jimmy to help him learn how to read. So you could still be evil and do good. Just saying. And with Quantum Leap, the original Quantum Leap, we had the actor who played the bartender Al appear in the very first episode as Weird Ernie.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, are we going to see something similar? Could one of the actors from the first episode wind up being someone similar to Al?
Yeah.
Could we see this as someone who maybe towards the end of the series is someone that might help out Ben in some shape or form? And that's another question. So I wouldn't be too surprised, because I think Weird Ernie was there in the beginning to just see, you know, what kind of a person is Sam. And when things would get tougher, that's when he kind of like stepped in and says, okay, let's put him through another test. Because it was almost like those who are Star Trek: The Next Generation fans, it's almost like Q with Encounter at far points, and how he kept testing, And there was a few times when Sam's faith in himself and with everything he believed in was tested a few times. Let's just get Rolando dropping links for Wolfpack. Thank you very much. They gone. Wolfpack has a new hunting video. Yep, that's what we mentioned. We got Ferris SoCal. Is Addison bad? She tore the house apart.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's argument for that. She tore the house apart. Maybe she was looking for something else. We don't know. The fact that she was rebelling against everyone, so to speak, saying, "Hey, you don't want me to bring up his memories? Okay, fine." And she still did it nonetheless.
Yeah.
She told Ben, they don't trust you. They're not trusting you. Okay, there's that.
But then Ben said this. He said, "Well, I would do the same thing if I were in their shoes." Remember,
well, at least as far as he remembers.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And at one point, she was begging Ian to try and get someone to unlock what was on that drive. I mean, could that be her curiosity? Like, she wants to know, is he good? Is he bad? She just wants to know. Instead of like plausible deniability. I mean, there were shades of what was going on at the project also going on in this episode.
Yeah.
Addison being against Magic and Jen, right? And then you had Stratton versus her commander. They were not trusting each other. It was almost like they were trying to come up with ways to circumvent each other. Stratton even told Ben, listen, I want you to go back to command, go back to the cockpit. I don't want you getting court-martialed. Plausible deniability.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you knowing what I'm doing. I don't want you getting involved. I want you protected. That was kind of what was going on because Ian was trying to keep things on the hush-hush when Jen was asking him questions about, I noticed you were talking to so-and-so. I mean, both sides, like both storylines were kind of paralleling each other.
Yeah.
There was mistrust during the leap, and there was mistrust back at the project. So I thought that was kind of interesting to see that kind of going back and forth. Excuse me. Francis says, I'll catch you guys next week. Maybe even if you're an evil leaper, you have to do some good to leap to the next jump point. Discuss. Yep. That's exactly what we're talking about. And Francis, if you're still watching, if you want to join us next week, just message me on Instagram at Daves_Dimension, or I'll drop the link in the beginning of next week's chat. And everyone's welcome to jump in. Yeah. I mean, the more leapers we have in here, the more we might get some more answers, Wolfpack says, good reference to the recast. I like your weird Ernie theory. Hey, we don't know. I mean, we saw him, and that's another thing. The original Quantum Leap recycled actors a lot.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of actors playing multiple characters. Or were they really playing multiple characters, or were they leapers?
Yeah. Well, it opens the door once we saw that later in the series that there were more leapers than just Sam.
Well, Zoe, the evil hologram to Aaliyah, she played in the episode. Was it something for Trorian? A portrait for Trorian. She was like the house attendant or the housekeeper or whatnot, and then they found her body in the swamp along with all the other bodies. And then, like, her image in the house completely vanished because she was like a ghost.
Oh, yeah, interesting.
Okay. And also, that episode featured the actress Deborah Pratt, who was also executive producer and the voice of Ziggy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's a lot of different people throughout the series that appear as other actors or other characters. So, I mean, they did that a lot. And it's going to be interesting to see if maybe we get some shades of that in this series,
Mm-hmm.
I get it that it was cost effective if you have like lower echelon actors, like being C-list type actors, and they want to maybe you get them to reappear because maybe they have contracts with NBC.
Yeah.
Because that was like a big thing back in the day, was to have oh, we had these actors, these actors, these actors. You see like the same actor kind of appearing on a bunch of shows. We see that like on a CW because a lot of those shows are filmed in Vancouver.
Yeah.
So, it's a thing that happens. Let's catch up. Maybe she could smell the other woman. Sam's mother was recast from an earlier episode. Yes. His mother, she appeared in a few episodes, I want to say. Thank you very much, Rolando, for dropping my my Instagram in there. Yeah, I only see 11 to 22 people. We need more. I don't use or have Instagram, but you have my YouTube name and my Facebook name. Yeah, you can always look us up. And like I said, I'm going to have the link in the description right in the beginning of the chat next week. So if you guys want to hop in, if anyone wants to hop in and join us next week, or even right now, the door is always open.
Yep.
Yeah, the Scrooge episode's main actor was recast. Was that Charles Rocket, who played like the Trump character in the Scrooge episode? He was actually a Saturday Night Live alum, so that's where the NBC connection comes there.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I know way too much sometimes.
I just always like seeing people like when you watch an older movie or an older show,
yeah,
and you see them like today. Earlier I watched Critters, the first Critters movie, and I was really surprised that like Billy Zane was a teenager in that, and then the guy who drives the Orville, the red-haired guy,
that's him, Bradley Brown.
He was the little kid. Yeah, he played Bradley Brown, the little kid. Yeah. And it was just like there was, and the one of the police officers was Neelix from Deep Space Nine, or from Voyager, Star Trek Voyager. Yep. So I was like, holy crap! Like I know all these people. And the mom.
I mean,
was the mom also the mom in? Was it Poltergeist or was it E.T.? I think it was Poltergeist. The was a mom in a different movie, either Poltergeist or E.T. I can't remember which one it was, but I definitely recognized her, and I was like, holy crap, like, all these people are from... And I didn't realize, like, I saw Critters, like, 40 years ago, so...
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize at the time that...
There was, like, 4 or 5 Critters movies, I think. And I think there was a remake.
Yeah, there was 4... back in the day that went through the 80s and early 90s, and then it just came back in like 2019 with the 5th movie, and it's not a remake, it actually continues where the other ones left off. So
yeah, Charles Rocket, he was also good point out here, Wolfpack. Yeah, he was the husband in the leap where Sam leaps into young Al into Bingo.
Gotcha.
He was the guy who had the wife that was sleeping around with everybody, including Bingo's roommate. Excuse me. But yeah, I mean, they had a lot of actors kind of shuffle around. My whole thing is I want to learn more about Ben's background. I think us finding out Ben's background is going to be the key to finding out what this target point is. Is it something to find Sam? Is it something else? Now, I do hope that we get more world leaping around the world. Because now that we got him leaping from space, which shows you can leap in space or leap anywhere.
Yeah.
Listen to your friend Billy Zane's. He's a cool dude. He knows what he's talking about. Billy Zane was awesome. He was in everything, man. I mean, Back to the Future. He was one of Biff's goons.
Oh, was he? Really? Yeah.
Yep. And he appeared in, I think, the first 2 movies. I don't think he was in the 3rd movie, though. He was in Back to the Future 2 when they went back to 1955.
Yeah, that would make sense.
How did he change his clothes so damn fast? Yeah, that's Billy Zane.
Huh.
Billy Zane's awesome. I mean, Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight.
Yeah,
he was awesome
Demon
in that
Knight.
movie.
Yeah.
Oh, and in that movie, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, the husband in that movie was Short Round from Indiana Jones. Yep.
And
he was in Goonies. He was in a lot of the yeah. And he recently reunited with Harrison Ford.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I mean, would that be cool to see Short Round back in the next Indiana Jones movie though?
That would be awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what if he just came out of nowhere, Dr. Jones?
He was like, I saw some interview with him where he stepped away from acting for like 20 years.
Yeah, he's done
and then he's back
and
like
directing and stuff. Yeah,
and he said he
went behind the scenes, man.
I remember in the interview he was like, I'm ready to do something again if the right thing came up, and he appreciates all the love he gets now from playing those characters he played when he was a kid. You know, and
I mean, Goonies. I'm always going to remember him from Goonies because he had all those gadgets. You know.
Yeah.
Did we see the Mishmo movie Realizations Book of Boba Fett figure? No.
Tamashii Nations, no.
But what are your predictions for? Do you think we're going to get more storyline like this in the next episode, or do you think the next episode is going to slow down a bit?
Oh no, I think it's going to pick up. Actually, I kind of think that the leaps. This is a series where, as we go down the road, the leaps are going to be secondary to the main story, which is going on in like today time, you know. So that's what I think is going to happen. We're going to have a leap in every episode, but I think as you go down the road, more and more of each episode is going to be focused on the present rather than the leaps that he's in. I really do.
Predictions for the Indiana Jones line, 6 figures coming out. I mean, obviously it's going to be Dr. Jones.
Yeah,
I hope Short Round is one of them. Yeah, I think it should, because I mean,
Short Round is the next Baby Yoda. I don't know. I have a feeling. they're going to do what a lot of lines are doing.
You think
a lot
it's going
of
to be
ways.
Raiders?
No, I think it's going to be completely mixed. I think you're going to get. I think you're going to get like a Raiders version of Indiana Jones. You're going to get like, what was his name? Thala Doom or whatever from part 2.
Colbane, is this what you're talking about? This actually looks pretty cool.
Yeah. And then I think you're going to get like the maybe Sean Connery figure from number 3 or whatever. And then
Connery, if they do Connery, it's over. It's a done deal.
You're going to get
I get Connery.
You might get Marion, but maybe what if you got Marion from the 4th movie or whatever? You know what I mean? Like,
I'm sorry, John. I hate to correct you, but there was no 4th movie. there was no 4th movie.
I just have a feeling that they're not going to do all one film. They're going to do a wave of 6 figures, but they're going to be from one from each film, or maybe two from Raiders, 1 from Temple of Doom, and 2 from the 3rd movie, and then 1 from the last one. You know what I mean? It's not.
We got to get now. Obviously, we got to get Jones, but do we want him in a leather coat, or do we want him with his, obligatory khaki shirt with his, his whip in his hand and his fedora on his head? I mean, what do we, which version of Jones do you want? Do you want Professor Jones, or do we want Dr. Jones roughing it up?
I think the Raiders. My pick would be the Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones with the whip.
Now, do we want the Ark included with the figure and marketed as a deluxe, or do we want the Ark in a covenant like with like 2 general Nazis, and that's like your army builder?
Yeah, you want to place that. That's what I want. But anyway, but regardless, if they are 6-inch action figures, I'm only buying Indy anyways. I'm not going to buy the other 5 because I'm not going to have the money to buy them all.
I mean,
but if they're, I would much
80.
rather to do 3 3/4 inch, so they're a little more affordable.
Well, I'm sure you want that for multiple reasons. One, it's more affordable. Two, if it's on a card back, and we get that vintage kind of style card back,
yeah,
that I think is going to be that's going to be the sweet spot.
Yeah,
I think that's the sweet spot. As long as they do the 3 3/4 looking decent, and not like a bunch of smudges on the face, I think that's the way to go. Well, here's something. Would you want them to ever make Quantum Leap figures? Like a Sam and Al or a Ben and Addison?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind, But again, it would have to be affordable. I just...
Yeah. Well, I mean, they did Tron figures.
Yeah.
Who's to say that they couldn't do like a one-off Quantum Leap kind of thing? I think that could be...
They had to have done Funko Pops of them already, haven't they?
Quantum Leap? No. I've never seen or heard of a Quantum Leap Funko.
How can Funko have not done that? They've done everything under the planet.
I'm going to do a search right now.
It's got to be like, yeah.
Now, it looks like some fan-made stuff, actually. So let me share. So it looks like someone made some, like a fan-made Al Calvici.
Yeah, Beckett.
Yeah. I mean, now, obviously, that's not what the Fermi suit looked like, though. So, I mean, but still, it's a cool concept.
Yeah. I'm surprised they haven't done official ones. That is a little...
considering that they've done everything else.
I know, yeah. They've done, I mean, pretty much literally everything else.
I mean, Supernatural, Bill Nye. I mean, they got Bill Nye. I mean, come on.
Did they do Amigo, really?
Maybe. Snake Pit's display set, Wolfpack says. Not in a Hasbro McFarlane type, Diamond Select and above. Yeah, I could see that. Storm Collectibles, maybe. So...
Oh, someone did a custom Mego style figure. Yeah. Okay. It's not an actual Amigo.
I keep getting hit up by people saying, "Oh, did you get the Ghostbusters?" Because Hasbro did I don't know if is it Mezco or is it Amigo. Hasbro has a Ghostbusters set right now.
Yeah. I saw that set. I didn't buy it. No,
for $69, that doesn't look bad. I mean, it's still cheaper than the damn selfie figures that they're trying to push on people.
Not getting the selfie figures. Nope.
No, I don't know if you saw my rant yesterday. $80 plus tax and shipping. It's going to be over $100 for one figure for me. No thanks.
Yeah.
No thanks. You got no chance. That's what you got. I mean, it's just really. I mean, I can't justify it, especially when it's going to be in a windowless box. There's no name. There's no. You're not even going to have like the art of the figure on the front of it, and it's just got like a generic sleeve over it. I'm sorry, that's just a hard pass for me. It really is.
I don't know. I saw the diamond. I think it was the diamond 6 or 7 inch Indiana Jones at Disney parks.
I don't think these look bad.
It's terrible. I mean, but yeah, I like these Ghostbusters. Yeah. I
mean, all that it looks like is kind of looks like a slightly bigger version of the Proton Pack that they have on the actual Plasma Series figures.
I mean, the face sculpts look a little cartoon-like, though, but they're
they do. Bad, but I mean, like the stitching, I think some of this could be better. I mean, it doesn't look like a whole lot of consistency here. Some of this looks sloppy. This really should be gray. So I could see fans like myself probably trying to do some some dyeing or just a little bit of paint, like some fabric paint.
The armbands are supposed to be gray at those elbows.
There. I mean, I think this is pretty good. I like this for Ernie Hudson from Ghostbusters 1. Because from Ghostbusters 1 to Ghostbusters 2, his face, his features changed completely. And of course, we got Ray Stans, aka someone that you know. I keep getting people saying I look like Dan Aykroyd. I don't get it, but you know, if they see it, they see it. You know. But yeah, it's Mego Ghostbusters. I mean, for $70, that's not bad. For a full set of them, I think that's. I mean, considering how much everything else is nowadays.
Yeah, for four figures, that's.
And they come in a nice display setup too. So I mean, that's something I'm kind of thinking. What, you're not going to army build yourself? WTF? No, not for $100 a pop. You know, I'd rather reach out to someone in our community that maybe does custom head sculpts.
Yeah.
Make me a head sculpt that'll fit a Hasbro figure, and guess what? I could put it on any of my Ghostbusters. I could put it on a Power Ranger. I could put it on a G.I. Joe figure if I have one. I mean, that's all you need is just a head sculpt.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like, I seriously think the whole selfie series, Hasbro is just trying to get rid of the excess stock of all the Rangers and everything else they have. Because why else would they only offer 1 or 2 bodies of each brand?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But my theory for Quantum Leap next week is I think we're going to get a little bit more story on both sides, I think. We obviously see that the coach, or the boxing coach, is the one who seems like he's in trouble and dire straits in some shape or form. I'm hoping we get a little bit more background. We found out this week that Magic has a daughter. We don't know what his marital status is, you know. I could maybe see a little bit of magic happening between Magic and Beth, maybe. We'll see what happens.
I don't know.
The same age range, you know, I'm just saying. Yeah. For all we know, Magic doesn't have a wife. You know, we'll see what happens. Now, since Magic has mentioned a daughter, will we maybe meet her somewhere down the line?
Yeah, I think so.
Since we are seeing the lives of the project members in and outside of work.
Ferris.
Yeah, I saw that. So you're saying he was sharing his magic? Hey, who knows? They still call him Magic now. Why do you think they would still call him Magic after all these years? There has to be something unusual going on. I'm wondering if, like, over the years, his ESP kind of heightened up a little bit.
Well, nicknames stick with you, you know, no matter what.
Yeah, well, there's that. But I mean, to stick around for, you figure, Vietnam, and now it's 2022.
I mean,
you're talking about a nickname to stick around for maybe 50, 60 years?
It has for me, other than this community. Everyone I've known since my childhood calls me an ox. So, you know.
They call you a what? An ox?
ANOX, one word. Yeah. Okay. It's a.
And as long as they don't call you Oxburger, right?
And it's a. And the Hippo Lord. They call me the Hippo Lord because
legacy of a nerd.
They thought I had hippo. They thought I had hippos on the farm I grew up on. So they were like, everybody was like, "You're the Hippo Lord too."
Oh, God. Whenever someone mentions hippos, I unfortunately think of my sister-in-law because she's a big hippo fan. Like, you know, Christmas time, she's got this big, massive hippo she puts on her front lawn, and I keep threatening to, like, set it on fire.
They got my friends that I grew up with, and even guys in college, and then people that I met online as things went on. Like, we had this massive guild in World of Warcraft, and they petitioned Blizzard to make a hippo mount just for me for World of Warcraft, so I could ride around on a hippo. But it never came to pass, though. They never could get enough people to, they only got a couple hundred people to sort of write in and try to get it. So I think they needed thousands to make something happen with Blizzard. So,
but no, I think since Magic dropped that he has a daughter, I think we're gonna get a little bit more background maybe to his family life.
Yeah, I think we're gonna touch on every one of them.
Now, are we gonna find out about Al's other daughters?
Yeah, he had a couple of them according to the old show, right?
I want to say he had 4 daughters, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see what other fields did they go into different fields. And I mean, Beth working on a car. I wonder if like one of the other daughters also is into cars too. Because I
don't know.
I thought it was a little interesting, see a woman, her, in her age, because she's going to be around the 70s, working on a muscle car. I thought it was a little bit interesting. And I think maybe that gives us a little bit more background, because you figure, if anything, if she was working on a car, maybe it would be like Al's convertible, his Corvette when he was bingo. But no, she was working on a GTO. I was like, wow. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, 4 daughters. Yeah.
Ferris says Al must have been broke. Hey, I mean, hell, he was running the project for a number of years. He was an admiral and retired, so I'm sure he was pretty well off.
Yeah, retired admiral is going to be fine.
And who knows? Maybe there was some bets made in the past. We don't know. But Quantum Leap, it's definitely picking up steam. I'm still seeing a lot of, there's a lot of the negative Nancys out there, let's be honest. There's people who want to see the old show. They're not going to get the old show. I mean, that's 30 years later. It's a different landscape as far as television. The writing is a little bit more intensive and more in-depth. We're going to see a lot more. I think we're going to see a lot more of it. And with the technology, the scope of what they can do is pretty amazing. I'm waiting for more story. I want more background on Ben now that we know, supposedly anyways, that he recruited Janice. Now, if they were working together, which obviously it shows that they were working together, were they working together to get Sam, or was it maybe to do something with Ben's background? We don't know. Those are a lot of questions we have yet to answer. We know that Ben migrated from Korea, but we don't know when. Was he a teenager? Was he a toddler?
Yeah.
Was he 7 years old? Was he 17 years old? We don't know.
And did he come with his parents, or did they send him alone? Like, what is it? What's the whole deal with his parents? You don't know anything. Yeah.
I mean, any number of things could happen. I keep loving seeing that small little clip in the trailer where we see future scenes from later this season, including Magic in Vietnam. And I really wanted to see what was Magic's perspective, because that's going to be the bridge between the two series.
Yeah,
Magic is that bridge because he was someone that Sam leaped into. How much does he remember?
Yeah.
What's his perspective of the memories from that leap?
Because that's kind of been a question of mine all along, is when the person comes back from the waiting room and goes back into his body, like I just think, like, if Sam saved their marriage because she was going to walk out on him, well, when he leaps back in, is he going to remember that his marriage is saved, or is he going to revert back to his crappy ways and beat his wife, and then she's going to leave him again anyways, and ruin and basically reset what Sam did. Sam corrected it.
You got Ed 5 popping through. Hey, Ed 5.
Hey.
I'm hoping that it's more like kind of like ripples in the water. You can't unripple. It's like if you walk through like snow. You walk through snow, you can't unwalk through it. Those tracks are there. They might be covered up over time, but they're still kind of there. Those steps are kind of cemented. So that's what I'm hoping, is that obviously part of Sam must my whole thing is part of Sam must stay behind. Okay, those memories must because we know that when Sam leaps, his brain is a bit Swiss cheese at times, right? We know that much. So I'm hoping that, and just like we talked about last week in the shock therapy episode, the egos of all the people that he's leaped into were in his mind.
Yeah.
So my hope is that when he leaps, either his memories or copies of his memories are left behind like an echo.
Yeah.
Which would also make sense that, and with Magic's ESP, with his sense, with his magic, as it were, that, I'm hoping that he's the exception to the rule, that he doesn't just have echoes, like he actually remembers Sam himself.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's my hope but we'll find out in a matter of weeks. Within the next few weeks, we'll find out what's going on. Francis says, didn't Ben say in the first episode that what he did and why he did it was bigger than him or her or both? That means it's something other than one single person's life being changed or involved. Yes, he did say that, and good catch on that. So, but it begs the question: what is this grander scope? Now, here's another question. We were talking about the evil leaper, the evil project. What if Ben caught wind, or like I said, what if he was approached by another project? And what if he knew that they were getting further along? And what if that's his mission? If it's something bigger than him or her or anyone else? What's bigger than protecting, good?
Well, I mean, there could be. I mean, we didn't think about this, but it could go beyond helping individual people, and maybe there's something that's going to happen on a global scale that he feels like he's got to stop.
Yeah, I mean, it could be something. I mean, the evil project could still be around, and they might be plotting something bigger than we can even imagine.
Yeah, that would kill millions or hundreds of millions of people, and because that would also be a real big motivating factor. If you knew that something was going to happen, that hundreds of millions of people were going to die, and if you went back to this one spot, you could stop it.
Yeah.
You would jump through time to try and stop it. We
got Sean Solo popping through the chat. What's up, my friends? Gonna listen and drive. I'll check back in chat when I'm at the coffee shop. So you picking up some donuts for your llamas?
Yep.
Sean Solo, the llama rider himself.
I haven't got much longer. I'm gonna go to bed soon. So
yeah, we're gonna be ending this in just a matter of minutes here. Just want to get some thoughts. I mean, it's like the first week I was like, okay, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. This week I got to give it like a 9.5. Almost, I almost got to say a 10.
Yeah, I'm in the high 9s. It's good. Yeah.
Ben leaping out of, not quantum leaping, but jumping out of the space shuttle.
Yeah.
Was something I never imagined we would see on Quantum Leap. I mean, to me, that was like, wait a minute, what's he doing? I had to rewind that. I had to replay them. Like, just the sheer thought that, like, okay, we saw Sam jump out of cars or jump in front of a car to save a child or get shot or get stabbed. We saw things. Those are definitely scopes of a hero, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we never saw him do something. I mean, that's like jumping out of an airplane without a parachute.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it is achievable that, yes, if you push yourself and you're on a straight trajectory, as long as you keep going straight and everything aligns perfectly, yeah, you're going to hit your mark. But he didn't have any kind of boosters. He didn't have any kind of, rockets to kind of like guide his way. If he would have gone, and he almost missed grabbing that handle.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that was the biggest thing I've seen. I mean, that's riskier than some of the stuff we've seen Sam do.
Yeah. I always think about that though
when
I do see that stuff in the movies or TV shows. I'm always like, why do they push off with like maximum force? Because
they got to get that momentum.
Yeah,
The
well,
momentum's gotta
you
carry.
don't really have to, because in space there's nothing to slow you down. So you could just let go, foop, and touch off with like the slightest pressure, and just slowly float across. So that when you get to the near station, you just go foop and you just touch it, and then you find your handhold. You don't have to push off with such a force that by the time you get to the near station, you're flailing all over the place and ready to fly off at like 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, Legacy of a Nerd. Yeah, they put Quantum Leap up against Monday Night Football and Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Which I hear WWE Wrestling is picking up a lot of momentum since Triple H took over for their creative side. But, hey, I'm still watching Quantum Leap at 10 p.m. Eastern every Monday night. And, of course, you can always watch it on Peacock or NBC app the very next day. At least 5 a.m. Central Time, it becomes available on that streaming platform. But, of course, you can't forget Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. on Dave's Dimension. Here we have the Leapcast, where we discuss every brand new episode of Quantum Leap. And I am thinking of, on the days where there's a rerun, maybe we'll do a retrospective of a classic Quantum Leap episode.
Oh, good idea. Yeah.
We'll do like a rewatch of a specific episode, and then we'll discuss it.
Yeah, if there's a skip week or something, if they, sometimes they do like 4 or 5 episodes and skip a couple weeks, and then they do. So they do that, we can,
MMU, the Man's Maneuvering Unit.
Yeah.
There you go, Ferris. And we had Legacy Nerd. They also put it against KBG Stream. Don't they know I'm the 500,000 most important celebrity out there? Yes, they do. They go against him. And by the way, I threw Sean Solo's link in the chat, guys. So please, if you don't follow Sean Solo 8, please do so. He's got some amazing reviews. And in case you didn't know, he is the world champion llama rider of this dimension. Nobody rides a llama like Sean Solo. And you can catch up with Sean Solo, Oakhurst Studios, A Dude's Nerdery, and of course Super Awesome Geek Show, along with Salacious Rum, every Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern on one of their rotating channels.
Well, I'm not really part of 3 Men and a Monkey Lizard. I'm an honorary. I'm an honorary member just because when they don't, it's like I'm the standing guest when they don't have a real guest. I come on.
You're the sub.
Yeah,
you're super sub.
And I'm the sub. Yeah, if one of them's out for the week, I always get to go on. So
it's like with bowling. My brother likes to call himself the super sub because whenever someone needs someone to sub in on the bowling teams, they get him.
Yeah.
Of course, he's a ringer. Legacy of the Nerd says, you are pretty famous, Colbane. Yes, Colbane Games is the gun daimyo. At 5 says, G'day, Sean Solo 8. Legacy of Colbane says, thank you, Legacy of a Nerd. So, guys, it is about 10 p.m. Oh, well, almost 10 p.m. So we're going to wrap it up every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. We did have a slow start today due to some technical difficulties, which I will be sending a very nasty email to EV Mux to find out what's going on with their platform. I had a lot of things queued up for it, but we made it work with StreamYard. I just want to thank everyone for coming through. Again, don't forget to check out the fundraiser for our friend Duffman's Diorama. Again, I'm throwing the link to his GoFundMe in the chat here. Feel free to share that on your Twitter, your Instagram, your Facebook, on any kind of social media that you have, guys. Let's make a real difference and help them out.
Will you have that in the description after the show?
I'm going to have that. I'm going to upload that in the description as well. Yep. So we have that also. Again, if you have friends and family who are in Florida or anyone who's in the path of that hurricane that's going to be going, I think it's going to be hitting some parts of Alabama, Virginia, I think possibly in the Carolinas. If you have any family down in any of those regions, please think of them. Reach out to them, check on them, make sure they're okay. Like this guy right here. Wait, over there. Over there.
Yeah.
Super Awesome Geek Show. He's down in Florida, like so many others. Please keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Keep your fingers crossed. And guys, Also, I want to thank everyone who has been supporting my psychotic channel, Dave's Dimension. You guys are awesome. And I'm not just saying you're awesome. You guys really are amazing and awesome. You support this crazy Irish Pollock Ghostbuster here. After about 2.5 years, we are sitting, and last week we were at like 353. We're at 665 right now, guys. You guys are killing it.
Awesome.
You guys are making me have delusions of grandeur. Making me think that I can do things that I would never think I normally could. So I just want to thank you guys. There's going to be a 600 subscriber giveaway. I guess if we wait much longer, it'll turn into 7. But we're going to be doing a 600 subscriber giveaway. And I'm thinking we're going to be giving away Casey Jones. I still have a Casey Jones in box, still sealed. And I think we're going to be doing a giveaway on that. But I'm going to choose a channel that you guys will have to go to. You'll have to like the video, leave a specific comments, and then we'll do a mystery wheel giveaway, an elimination wheel. And we're going to have a fun stream coming up. Also, I was supposed to be going to Michigan later this month. That got taken away thanks to the Backstreet Boy reunion tour. If those know, you know the code. Last week, I got taken out of circulation. So did my wife. We're doing much better now. But that kind of put the kibosh on us doing a trip because, well, there's certain regulations and restrictions when you go through Canada.
Yeah.
So Michigan got canceled, but we're going to be doing some other stuff. The middle of the month, that is in October, there may be a extra long stream on the weekends, on one of these weekends, because there's somebody who's turning 44 next month. So we might be doing a fun kind of a stream. We'll see what happens. But guys, I just want to thank everyone who comes out, to everyone of the Leapers in the chat here, to Francis, to Demon, to Wolfpack, Duffman, Colbane Games, Legacy of a Nerd, to Brody and everyone else who popped through earlier. You guys are awesome. Legacy Nerd says, dang man, you're going to be as famous as Colbane. Nobody's that famous. Now, I might be infamous. That's another story, but we won't go there. Let's catch up.
See, I'm at a point where I'm starting to think of doing odd numbers. Like I wish I had thought of this earlier. I would have done 1138, for 1138. I would have done, a couple other ones like 1701 for Star Trek. But the next one, luckily, I'm still in the 3000s, so I can do 3827 from the Star Wars Trash Compactor. So I'll be like, because it was 326, 3827. So I'll do 3827 as the next milestone giveaway, because everyone does 1,000, 2,500, 5,000. You know what I mean? Everyone picks these.
Colbane says he's in the path of Ian. It'll be category 1 by Friday morning when it hits him. But
yeah.
And don't forget, Ian is also the name of one of the characters in Quantum Leap.
That's right.
So watch out.
But I want to break the norm and not do the normal numbers. I'm like, we got to pick random numbers from now on.
Come on, what's the fun with norm? I mean, really.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So my next giveaway will be at 3827. There you go, Colbane.
Yep, there you go, Colbane Games. YouTube.com/C/Colbane. So please check them out. And guys, we're going to wrap this up. Again, I want to thank everyone. They're doing Fiona and Ian.
Is Lip next? Yeah, Lip.
Super awesome Geek Show random number giveaways are fun.
Yeah.
Well, guys, again, thank you. Super Awesome Geek Show. Thank you for joining us. We're going to see you next week.
Yeah.
By the way, John, if you need anything, everyone here is for you. If you need anything, or Turtle Rat, you need anything, you just give us a holler, and we'll be checking on you throughout the week. Make sure you're still in one piece. By the way, if any of your Lego sets get like waterlogged, you ship them off to other people. Just saying.
Yeah.
It's Prime. What?
We had a fun time at the gym this morning. I went into the gym, and there was no water in the park, and no problems.
Mm-hmm.
And then while I'm in the gym, about an hour later, this guy's like, the side door has a little bit of water coming in, and 3 or 4 people went over and looked at it, and I leaned over and looked, and you could see this trickle of water coming in from under the door. And one guy opened the door, and it was like a freaking tsunami came in. Like it was probably about 3 feet of water behind the door, and it quickly just filled the whole gym and rushed to the other side of the gym. Everything was like a couple inches of water. So the door was actually damming the water. And then I went out the front door of the gym, and it was above our sneakers. It was like the water was 6 inches probably, and there was a swimming pool off to the right, and that was full of water going in and then into the walkway ahead. So in like just less than an hour, it went from no water outside to 6 inches. So we were already getting flooded today from this thing, and that's the big issue for us is the flooding and all the water we're getting. It's crazy.
Well, we're not having those hurricane type tsunami, but a lot of our lakes and creeks have a tendency to flood, and we've been getting a ton of rain the past couple of days. So I'm hoping we don't get anything like that.
Yeah.
But we've had it where water main breaks usually happen 5 or 6 times a year.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, Buffalo, New York, it's, we get a lot of lakes and creeks and rivers. So we get a lot of overflows. So we have a lot of viaducts. So I just updated the stream with Duffman's link. So anyone that wants to donate to Duffman or you want to share the link, it's right in the description for the stream and video. This stream and video will remain up for all of time, at least until YouTube gets rid of me. So it'll be there. So guys, until next time, keep on busting, and I'm always going to catch you guys on the flip side. Take care.